Speaking as a private individual again, it terrifies me, the thought that he might be our commander-in-chief, might be in the Oval Office, might be the leader of the free world, because I said it a minute ago, the man is dangerous, especially with regard to this issue of morality.
That was James Dobson on Sean's radio show earlier today, and once again harshly criticizing Barack Obama. Joining us now with further reaction, our newest Fox News contributor. I knew he'd wind up in this business. Former Arkansas governor, former presidential candidate Mike Huckabee. Governor, welcome to Fox News.
Thank you very much, Alan. It is a pleasure to be here with you and Sean tonight.
Now you're one of us.
Especially in this new capacity. I wouldn't go that far, Alan. I'll never be quite one of you.
Well, he saw you and said, I can do that.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Let me ask you, do you agree with what Dr. Dobson said when he said the idea of Barack Obama as president terrorizes me, terrifies me? Do you agree with that?
There are many things about Barack Obama that make me very uncomfortable for the country. I think he's a great communicator. Let's give him that. But there are potholes and there are sinkholes. And what Barack Obama has done is to drive his campaign into a sinkhole by saying some things regarding religion that I think will make people who are religious very uncomfortable.
Are you terrified?
Look, I think my terror is limited to people in the Middle East who point bombs at us. Am I concerned as a citizen? Yes. And what I've been saying is that we don't need to make up stuff about Barack Obama, because I think that the record is going to be the best weapon to defeat him. And he's a wonderful communicator, but you need to ask, what is it that he believes? Well, what he believes is that the Sermon on the Mount is outdated, that it wouldn't pass the Defense Department.
Not what he said. He said it's very difficult, and it's almost radical to say turn the other cheek, or, you know, love thy neighbor as thyself, or judge not lest ye be judged.
It's a very radical position.
That's what he said.
But it's not intended to be applied to a civil government. You know, I always find it interesting. Liberals want it both ways. They don't want to bring religion into the public square unless they bring it and get to reinterpret it. And it's one of the amazing things about many folks on the left. But I think when people start trying to say that the Sermon on the Mount ought to be maybe run through the test of the Defense Department, that's problematic to most of us. I would think
Governor,
people who aren't conservatives.
Dr. Dobson said, am I required in a democracy to conform my efforts in the political arena to his bloody notion of what's right in regard to tiny babies? I would ask, are the rest of us required to conform our efforts in the political arena to what James Dobson's view is and enact his view into law?
It's not about his view. It's about the collective view of Americans who believe that all people are created equal and that every human life has intrinsic value and worth. And when Barack Obama believes that we can have partial birth abortion, then we've taken away the equality of that unborn child, and we've said that he's expendable, that he's not as valuable as he would be if he were born 5 minutes later. That defies something beyond anybody's politics, Alan. That goes to the heart of what we are as a civilization. And we have elevated and celebrated life. That's why we don't leave our soldiers on the battlefield when they're wounded. We say to leave no man behind, because we don't view their worth and value as their soldiering. We view it as their personhood. And when you rob a human life of its personhood, as you do with the kind of abortion policies that Barack Obama supports, that's a serious issue, I think, for many of us who don't see this as a religious issue, but see it as something even deeper and broader than that.
I think he's got problems. I don't think he's been honest with the American people. I don't think he's been truthful on a lot of different issues. I think I have questions about his judgment on a lot of issues. But more importantly, I know everyone's focused on the flip-flop. I think the biggest problem is Barack Obama is not really an agent of change. I see him, and I'd like your thoughts on this, as the quintessential ambitious politician that will say just about anything and take any position to be president. Doesn't this go to the character? Aren't we learning on AIPAC, on Iran, on taxes, on Jeremiah Wright? He just doesn't seem to have, you know, core values guiding him.
It is a concern, and I think it's a legitimate one, Sean. When you have a person who says, I want to change the politics of Washington, but then becomes even one now that's being criticized by the left media because he's decided that he is going to bypass all of the very public financing that he's so embraced until he realized he could get more money into his coffers by not doing it. That's exactly the kind of thing that just makes people say, here he is, another politician.
Why did you warn Senator McCain not to go after Barack Obama on personal issues?
Oh, I don't want him to lay off Obama on issues. I just want people to realize that the way to defeat Barack Obama is not to demonize him on a personal level. And by that I mean, let's don't go to all these internet rumor things. That's where we are going to make a huge mistake. There's plenty out there, whether it's that he's been to all 57 states, you know, whether it's talking about his... You know, one of the things I think was very problematic is when he talked about, well, gas prices are high. What really is a problem is they're just going up so slowly. Tell that to the single mom who can't get to work tomorrow without having to decide what portions of food to take off her kid's table.
Hey, just say no to nuclear energy. Just say no to drilling offshore. Just say no to refineries, coal mining, and we'll be driving Alan's Yugo in the future.
Sorry, there's not enough room in there for you.
Governor, welcome to the team. It's great to have you, my friend.